Previously on Mushroom Journeys.
Big Russula mushroom. Ah! Oh, we got a little pop-up thunderstorm moving through. We'll have to continue this next time.
Wild mushrooms and plants can be harmful or fatal if swallowed.
All right, let's continue on our quest to find 250 early July mushrooms in honor of America's birthday. Let's bring up the counter. Where do we leave off? Oh, okay, we got a lot of work to do. Let's get going. It's the most mushroomy time of the year. There are chanterelles and brittle gills and puffballs that swell. It's hot as hell. Oh God. All right, looks like we got some black trumpets here. This one's dead, that one's even farther gone. But we do have some nicer, younger ones, some little tiny ones just coming out right here. Some more in the back. There are two kinds of black trumpets. The eastern black trumpet, which is this one, will have more of an orangish pinkish spore print and fertile surface. And then there's the horn of plenty, which will have more of a whitish spore print and fertile surface. That one's mostly a European variety, but there are some observations of it in the United States. That's one of my favorite mushrooms. Very nutty, delicious, savory flavor, much like a morel. It's just more of a papery thin kind of mushroom texture. Great on a pizza. Always happy to find those. Cool, let's keep going. Okay, here we got some very fine chicken of the woods. Pale and dried and full of bugs. Not worth collecting that one. These are your regular sulfur shelf chicken of the woods. Nice orange color on top. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. So this is Cincinnatus, but it's just coming out of the dead wood. Tricked me. It usually grows in big rosettes at the base of trees. This one has hosted a big rosette the last 5 years or so. But now that it's petering out, it looks like the Cincinnatus has colonized this dead wood, which isn't really its thing. That's more of a regular chicken of the woods, a sulfur shelf type thing. Very cool. All right, well, that one's good enough to eat. I'll take that home. Good find. Let's move on. Okay, here's our real deal sulfur shelf. A little on the old side. I only like to eat them when they're just coming out. These have been around for a few days. Still not too bad, but yeah, you can see the difference. Side-by-side comparison. This one tastes slightly better in my opinion. And you do want to get these a little younger than this. Once they get frilly and frondy and start to dry out, get a little cardboardy, not quite as good, but you can still cut off the outside edge there and eat that. It'll be perfectly fine, but I enjoy them best when they're nice and watery and squishy and almost brand new. All right, so up here is a big white mushroom. Big white mushrooms are notorious for being hard to identify and often toxic. I can't quite figure out what this is, but good news, you can send in your samples to the summer Myco Blitz coming up at the end of the month and have them DNA sequenced. So I may do that with this one. So while we're talking about big white mushrooms being hard to identify, I have a retraction or correction from part 1 of this episode. I identified a big white shaggy mushroom as Amanita abrupta, the American abrupt bulb lepidella, but now after further review, I think that might have been Coker's Amanita, Amanita cokeri. Amanita cokeri does tend to be a little bit bigger and it has more concentric scales around its big bulbous base, whereas Amanita abrupta will have more of a smooth, flat, abrupt bulbous base. And there is actually a third mushroom that resembles both of those, the carrot foot, but it will be a little more orangey and have more of a deeper stem. In a way, I'm kind of glad this happened, as it illustrates the point that big white mushrooms are hard to identify. And it's also another one of the pitfalls of mushroom identification. You learned something a long time ago, 5 or 10 years ago, and it becomes a fact in your mind. You think it's true, but all the while you've been misinformed. So it is good to re-educate yourself and continue to check your facts.
Don't mess around with a big white mushroom.
Let's keep going. Oh wow, look at this. It's probably the biggest red chanterelle I've ever seen. That's about as big as they will get, 3 inches across. That is a big one. Definitely gonna keep that. That is a beautiful mushroom and a delicious one, although I think the yellow chanterelles are just a little bit more tasty. And just a few feet away, we've got blue-green cracking Russula. That is an edible mushroom. This one's been eaten already. It's not in very good condition, but it is a beautiful edible mushroom. You only find them in loose, small groupings or individually. Oh, yeah, there's another one. Hiding over here. Also severely munched. So here's our blue-green cracking. The mosaic pattern is a giveaway. There's also the green quilt Russula. It's supposed to taste slightly better, a little more nutty and delicious than this one, but this is a very delicious edible mushroom as well. It's just hard to get to these before the animals do, as is the case with a lot of good summer edible mushrooms. There is also an edible Russula called the charcoal burner that I find usually in May, although you can find it all throughout the warm months of the year. That one can also take on a greenish color, but will not have the mosaic pattern. Typically, it's more of a kind of like a purplish color, but you do have to be careful with Russulas because they can vary in their cap color. And yes, they are very, very brittle. Let's keep moving. And over here, just a few feet away from our blue-green cracking Russula, are some smooth chanterelles. These have been keeping me really busy, collecting these, cleaning them, cooking them down, putting them in vacuum sealed bags. It's a lot of work, but it's nice to have chanterelle mushrooms all year long. All right, and over here we have some more yellow mushrooms coming up. These are pretty small, just coming out. Let's see. These are Russula earlei. This is a very plasticky mushroom. They're almost the most plastic mushroom of them all. They just feel like they're made of hard plastic or rubber, and they'll get much bigger. They stay kind of this kind of semi-translucent yellow, kind of light yellow tannish color, and nothing seems to want to eat these. They seem very inedible. But yeah, another cool Russula mushroom. There's quite a few of them coming up here. And all these mushrooms are growing in association with this big white oak tree. Let's keep moving. All right, here's some more mushrooms. Here's our crowded parchment. It'll be kind of like a dried up yellowish colored crust fungus. And then when it gets some moisture, when it rains, it'll turn kind of this bright orange and become highly visible as a very common fungus in the woods here in southern Indiana. Oh, here's another fungus, another mushroom. Here's our Blackfoot Polypore. You can see it's Blackfoot. This is in the genus Cereoporus, along with the dryad saddle or pheasant's back. It doesn't look so much like it. It looks to me more like the Bay Polypore, Pesipes badius. Also has a black foot, and will start off kind of a beige color and progressively get darker and darker. Not an edible species, but one you'll see in the summer growing on decomposing wood. And over here, I don't know if you can see that, but there's another good summer mushroom. Oh, wow, a couple of good summer mushrooms. We got our snow fungus. This is a celebrated edible fungus known for its skin benefits. And there is a look-alike for this one, the white jelly fungus, which will be more opaque and have a tighter formation of its fruiting bodies. So do be careful, do not confuse the snow fungus or the white jelly fungus. This one's getting pretty gross and slimy and starting to deteriorate. I don't really ever collect these from the wild. You can bring a Ziploc bag along or a Tupperware and collect these and try to dry them out, or just throw them in your smoothie right away for the health benefits, but they're pretty affordable at the Asian market dried out. They have nice big ones. You can buy a big bag of them. I would just buy those and not try to collect these from the wild, as they're kind of hard to clean and they deteriorate really fast. And they're slimy and they might mess up your mushroom basket if you don't put them in a container. Right next to them, got some little black trumpets. These little teeny tiny ones. Wow, all right, so many mushrooms. Awesome. Anything else? So 250 years ago, foraging for mushrooms wasn't really a thing. There's no documented evidence of any of the founding fathers foraging for or eating wild mushrooms. I mean, you'd think General Washington out on military campaign or doing his work as a surveyor would have run into some mushrooms for sure in the old growth forest. But coming from England, a lot of people who immigrated to America didn't have much of a culinary tradition or any tradition of eating wild mushrooms. But they most certainly did. Most of the recipes from that time just referred to the mushrooms as mushrooms, not by a specific species, so it's hard to know what they were eating. But today we know a lot more about the mushrooms, and other immigrants from countries like France and Germany recognize some of the same mushrooms that they had in their homelands, and probably ate quite a few of them, taught their neighbors which ones were good to eat, but mostly not a thing. Even Abraham Lincoln, a few years later, living his hardscrabble frontier existence in Kentucky and Indiana, has no documented record of mushroom foraging or eating wild mushrooms. So it makes sense, but it is kind of surprising. The only documented record of any of the founding fathers in regard to mushrooms is one order that George Washington made, an order of pickled mushrooms from London. Oh, hello, Abby. How are you? Have you seen Stumpy? I've been looking for Stumpy. I haven't seen him lately. All right, well, tell him I'm looking for him. If you see him, watch out. There's going to be fireworks later. All right, take it easy. Looks like we got some mushrooms on this log here. Oh, yeah. Looks like one of them already got eaten there. This is a great one of my favorites. They can get quite a bit larger than this. This is the weeping milkcap. You can kind of see some latex there already. This is a pretty good edible mushroom. It's a bit grainy, as many of the milkcaps are, but when you cook it, it tastes a lot like roasted potatoes, which I don't mind at all. All right, let's see if we can get some latex out of this one. Fishy. Very fishy smelling. But yeah, let's give this a slice, see what happens. It is weeping, it's crying. It's weeping all over me. And that is a sticky latex. Aha! Here is our curry milkcap. Very similar to another mushroom called the candy cap. Doesn't grow here. But this is an interesting little milkcap. Let's cut the gills. And yep, we're getting just a little bit of milky latex there. Both the curry milkcap and the candy cap have traditionally been used as a spice, dried and powdered. Once dried, their aromas will intensify. The candy cap will smell very much of maple syrup, and the curry milkcap will smell of curry or fenugreek. I would hold off on the curry milkcap though, as it's known to cause some GI distress in some people, but if you live in a region where you can find the candy cap, that might be worth a try. That's another cool one. Let's keep going. Oh, wow. Hallelujah. I think I see a big fruiting of pale oyster mushrooms down there. This is the best mushroom miss ever. So here on the way are some golden-gilled Geronimonas. These are not a golden oyster. These are not an Appalachian chanterelle. These could be toxic and should be avoided. They usually come out in big groupings on decomposing wood. This is an old oak stump, and they will have this dark center patch, much like the Appalachian chanterelle. They can get a lot bigger, but sometimes they're smaller. But yeah, that is not an edible mushroom, but it is one you can see in the summer. All right, let's check out our oysters. Wonderful. These are in great shape. I've been having some bad luck finding these pale oysters. I've been coming a little too late every time. They do degrade awfully fast in the summer heat. Pleurotus, pulmonarius, the pale oyster, the summer oyster. These are a little white and translucent, and they will have an offset stem with decurrent gills that run down the stem. Pleurotus, the genus name, means side ear, referring to the nub or stem going off of the side, and pulmonarius means lung, as these kind of look like a lung when you turn them over. So these are really delicious edible mushrooms. These kind of have like a licorice anise seed smell with a little bit of lakeside maybe. Yeah, it's a delicious mushroom. I kind of prefer the pearl oysters as they are a little bit thicker and meatier, but these are plenty good, and they are maybe not going to be around quite as much in the future. The golden oyster, the invasive golden oyster, is heading this way, so I want to really appreciate these while I can. But yeah, you do want to make sure that you get them right at the right time before there's any yellowing or rot or beetles in these mushrooms, because they do degrade awfully fast. All right, so yeah, let's collect some of these oysters. All right, pretty happy about that. Let's keep moving. Oh, hey, Stumpy. Looking for you, Stumpy. How's it going? Oh, Stumpy, you're so fast for only having 3 legs. Okay, Stumpy, you wanna help me find some mushrooms? Okay, you lead the way. Did you find one? That was fast. Here, let me help you, Stumpy. There you go. So this is our Sickener mushroom, Russula Amanita group. There's a number of these red-topped, white-gilled, white-stemmed Russulas. Sometimes the stem will have kind of a pink blush. Small ones, big ones, hard to tell them apart. We just call them Russula Amanita group. And they are known as sickeners because they will make you sick. Will they make this eastern box turtle sick? No, but not one you want to eat. Like a lot of Russula mushrooms, these are very brittle. That's why they're called brittle gills. The gills will break off if you rub them with your finger, and the stem will snap like chalk. All right, Stumpy, enjoy that mushroom. See you later. Look at these blushers over here just coming up. And a big giant one already come out, but yeah, even these little ones have been eaten already a little bit. The white blusher is known for its kind of red or rosy staining with age or when handled. Usually has warts on the cap, and it will not have a cup-like vulva. At the base, it will have more of just a bulbous stem. You could confuse this for some dangerous species like the white panther, so I would avoid this one. But it's a very pretty, very large Amanita mushroom that you can find in the summer and fall. And over here, we have something very cool. Check out this green cheese polypore. Look at that guttation. It's dripping drops. So maybe it's been nibbled too a little bit. So this is similar to the white cheese polypore, but it'll be darker on top. And it can take on kind of greenish tones underneath, or if it's bruised, it is both a parasite and a saprobe on oak. And no, despite its name, this is not an edible species. Just too tough and woody. And might be toxic as well. All right, cool. Let's go seek out our next mushroom. She wore red velvet, oh, redder than velvet was the night. Oh. So this is the red velvet milkcap, or I guess the more accepted common name is the Corrugated-cap Milkcap. It's a beautiful milkcap mushroom, very similar to the weeping milkcap. You can see all the latex is pouring out of the stem there as I picked it up, just dripping. So yeah, these have a very strong latex reaction when cut or damaged. Reddish top, kind of bumpy, not really fuzzy to the touch, but it appears fuzzy. And then we have this kind of orangish brown tan colored stem and gill surface. And like the weeping milkcap, this has a kind of a fishy odor and will exude a lot of latex when cut. Very, very strong latex reaction, very sticky latex. So that's another good one. I don't find these quite as much as I do the weeping milkcap, so this is a special treat for me here in the beech maple oak forests of southern Indiana. Smells delicious. Very similar to the weeping milkcap. Kind of grainy, tastes like potatoes. I'll give this a 6.5 or a 7. Okay, well, fireworks are starting. Better call it quits here. Happy Mushroommas to you, wherever or whenever you can celebrate it. Happy birthday, United States of America. What's our final count? How many species did we cover? Oh, okay, not 250. What if we count all the individual mushrooms that we saw? Oh, 1,000. Wow. That's even better than I thought. Well, that was a pretty fun adventure. Hope you enjoyed it. This has been the 100th episode of Mushroom Journeys. I'm Michael File. I'll see you next time.